Welcome to the Orphan No More podcast, brought to you by Orphan No More Foundation, which exists to help kids without parents become orphans no more. For more information, you can go to orphannomorefoundation.org. My name is Shaq, and I'm really excited to bring you this story from the Lawing family. The story that the Lord is writing through the Lawing family is an incredible picture of His redemption. Our hope for you as you listen to them tell their story is that you would see yourself in their story and be encouraged by the gospel, and also that the Lord would use this story to call you to help kids without parents become orphans no more.
Adoption is not something that when we got married, that we thought we would go into. Most families think you get married, you have kids, you have the textbook American life. That was not our story. We were the unfortunate ones that suffered 3 miscarriages with no explanation of why. My name's Wade Lawing.
I'm Courtney Lawing,
I work for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes as an area rep.
and I'm a fourth grade elementary teacher at a local public school.
We have 2 dogs, Mocha and Dallas.
We met in sixth grade at youth group whenever we were both in middle school, and we became really good friends, started dating, and got married after college.
Yeah, I mean, we were middle school sweethearts, and then we weren't high school sweethearts. We actually, she didn't like me for most of high school. I just kind of stuck around, and she came back. So I can't call us high school sweethearts, but we've been together in some way, shape, or form as friends, married for probably going on 15 years now. And we tried to, just try to live life, right? You want a vacation together. You want to go hiking. You want to, we're Cowboys fans, so go to Dallas, see the Cowboys play. We do those things. And then wanted to, start a family.
And we really just wanted to enjoy our marriage for about 5 years, and then we were kind of ready to settle down to start a family. And whenever we did, we started and we found that we actually get pregnant very easily. That was something that was not difficult for us at all. And we were very thankful for that. And whenever we got our first positive pregnancy test, we had about 1 day until we started realizing that we were actually miscarrying. And that was really difficult. We found out that we were very early along in that pregnancy. And then we decided after a couple months that we didn't want to give up on that dream, and that it's very common to have a miscarriage on your first pregnancy. So we waited a few months and we started trying again and again, got pregnant very easily. We called the doctor and they were scheduled our appointment. We went to our first appointment that should have been our 12-week appointment. And we went in there and our doctor did all of the tests that she could, but they couldn't find a heartbeat. And that was devastating, to say the least. And I was very much ready to give up on that dream of becoming a mom. I had to have surgery after that miscarriage. I just told the doctors that I didn't want to miscarriage at home again. That was just too difficult for me emotionally and on my body. So went through the surgery, and we decided that we wanted to wait a little bit longer. He was also going through a little bit of a job change then.
Decided to go in the full-time ministry. And with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, we have to raise our own support. It was very difficult, very challenging for me to walk away from a well-paying job to go into full-time ministry. What we knew, though, is that the Lord would provide. And whether it's financially or whether it was in the midst of a family, the Lord would provide within His will, within His timetable, because He's sovereign God, and that's what He does. And so we embarked on this new ministry journey and actually got pregnant a third time.
And that one we were not even expecting to either. We were not necessarily trying. So we were very surprised whenever we got a positive pregnancy test then, and called my doctor immediately. And my doctor was wonderful. And she let us come in every 2 weeks to see our baby and hear our baby. And it was a very, very beautiful moment for us to get to hear a heartbeat.
See a baby move.
Yeah. And so she was so kind, and she let us come in every 2 weeks to see that. And then we went to our 14-week ultrasound, and we were ready to go into this appointment excited, because every appointment we've gone into, we went into scared. And we were excited for this appointment. We were ready to tell the world. We were ready to have a little photo shoot to show our new family that's growing. And whenever we went into this one, there again was no heartbeat. So we went through the miscarriage process again.
Her surgery this time happened to be on my birthday, which was not the funnest of birthdays. We were in the hospital having surgery, and to be honest, I don't know that my birthday will ever be the same, because it's hard to have that day and not remember the loss.
So we kind of just put a pause on everything, and just decided to enjoy each other for a while, even if just the two of us was all our family would be. And then we got connected with a good family friend of ours that went to our church, and she was our children's director at church, and she was transitioning out of that position to go and work for Lifeline Children's Ministries, which is an adoption agency. And she kind of got us connected in there, and we sat down and we talked with her for 5 hours over lunch. It was a very long time, and they just told us everything that they knew about adoption and about the process and what that looked like. And we then met with some foster families and talked about that option to see if that was an avenue we wanted to go down. And even though our hearts absolutely love the foster system, we know that the foster system's goal is reconciliation to their birth families. And we know that our end goal is to have a child of our own. Even though we love the foster system, we knew that wasn't our path right now. So we started to look further into adoption after about a year after our last miscarriage, just because we needed some time to heal and some time to...
Just a process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going into full-time ministry, Lifeline is just that. They are a ministry organization. It's not just adopting a child. With Lifeline, it's open adoption, which actually scared us to be, the initial thoughts, we're going to adopt, and this is our baby, and that's not always the way it works. Certainly not with Lifeline. Now, what we're walking into with them is not just adoption, but it's birth family adoption.
The Lord's really shown us some really beautiful ways that He's just been right in the middle of our entire adoption journey. For example, whenever we officially became licensed to adopt, we got our license in the mail on the same day that our third daughter would have been born, and that was it brought so many emotions to me of joy and sadness, because it was already a very sad, doom and gloom day for me anyways. But then opening the mail to find this beautiful license that says, here you are, ready for the next step, ready to welcome a baby into your home, on the same day that my daughter should have been coming home. It just made me stop and think and just praise the Lord for His goodness and for His mercy and for just the way that He has held us through every step of this journey.
And I think, looking at it from a biblical standpoint, when I started with FCA, the passage that was the theme verse for that year talked about being predestined for adoption into God's family. And as we talked about what it might look like to adopt, the fact that what I was teaching the students and coaches was centered around adoption, just furthered that narrative that this is where God had us. And I think as we continue to walk through this process, he continues to open doors. The way he blesses with unexpected grants that we expect little, and he brings it in big. Stephen Curtis Chapman's organization, Show Hope, blessed us with an $11,000 grant. We've put in probably close to $10,000, $11,000 of our own money, and still have about $12,000 more to go. So what we know, though, is that God's going to continue to bless. He's going to continue to show up. That's who he is. That's his sovereign will, and the fact that he's called us into this adoption journey, the fact that we were created to be adopted into his family, it's just further proof that he's going to do exactly what he has promised, and that's to work all things together for our good.
We also had a yard sale that we put together. We reached out to our community and to our friends and our family and said, all of the things that you don't want, bring them to us. And they did. And we had our whole front yard covered in clothes and tools and anything that you could possibly imagine. And we sat out all day, and the people just poured in. The Lord just brought people from far and from near. And by the end of the day, we raised over $4,000 for our adoption. And that was just through the people in our community showing us that they supported us and that they loved us enough to show up. People that we didn't know and people that we did.
$4,000 at a yard sale. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we were proud of that one. Well, we were proud of what the Lord did in that one. Our families were really excited whenever we told them that we were going to adopt. We don't have any children in either of our families that have been adopted. So we are going to bring in the first adopted baby into our families. And our parents, both of our parents, were really excited. They have always been rooting for us to have a family, and they've always wanted to, have lots of grandchildren and nieces and nephews. And so whenever we kind of announced to them that we were adopting, they made it really special for us. And they told us that they didn't care how we got children. They just wanted us to have children because they know that both of us would be incredible parents, and they were ready to be grandparents.
And I don't know if you're watching this video what your story is. What I can tell you is that God's plan for your life is his glory, and that he will work all things together for your good, just as he is doing for ours, even when we don't understand it, because again, that's who he is, that's what he does. So maybe you're considering adoption. Maybe you're considering foster care. Maybe you don't know what the next step is. What I would encourage you to do is step out in faith. And would you maybe walk into the unknown a little bit? It's unknown to us, but it's not unknown to him. The timing, his timing is perfect. And what may seem like weeks or months or an eternity for us is just a drop in a bucket for God, and he's going to do it in his time. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you to step out in faith. I would also ask you to consider investing in our family, in our story. Adoption is costly, but it's worth it. And what you're doing in investing in our story is not just helping us bring a baby home, but it's helping us further the gospel. And so what you're doing is you're actually investing in ministry. It's a ministry opportunity for us to raise this child in a God-fearing Christian home. And then as we love on that child, we're also loving on their birth family as well. And so this is full circle ministry where the goal is to reconcile both the child and the birth family to Christ. And so there's purpose behind this. It's not just bringing a child into our home just for for us to take the child and raise it as our own, but it's to show the love of Christ, to show that the way that He blesses and the way that He redeems, even when we don't deserve it, or we may think that we're not worth it, but it's to His glory that we get to even do this.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that He's blessed thus far is by no means anything we have done. I'm not a good enough salesman at the yard sale to bring in $4,000.
That's the Lord.
That's the Lord blessing. $11,000 from Show Hope. That's the Lord blessing. And when we do bring a baby home, it'll be the Lord blessing,
Yes.
because that's what He does.
What an incredible story. We hope that you were able to see yourself in their story. And we hope that the Lord used their story to call you to help kids without parents become orphans no more. If you feel like the Lord might be calling you in any way, shape, or form to help out with foster care or adoption, you can go to orphannomorefoundation.org/next steps to let us know how you feel the Lord might be calling you to help kids without parents. You can also become a part of our family tree through your prayer and through your giving, as we at Orphan No More Foundation seek to support families like the Lawing family in their pursuit to help kids without parents become orphans no more. If you want to help through your prayer or through your giving, you can go to orphannomorefoundation.org/family tree. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.